Zoho, not only with development, like we parallelly took over this training. When I talk about training and certification, we took this Zoho Creator program. And we have trained close to about some between 6 to 8,000 students into the domain of Zoho Creator. But whereas in Creator it is not the case, that the customized product can be created based on the requirement of the client. We are likely to do with ASMA. Earlier, whatever features we were not able to give it in the previous version, now is that the version is increased and accommodativeness of Creator has just gone still more deeper, that we wanted to bring in a lot of additional features which helps a user to benefit to a very larger extent.
Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in for another episode of Creator Conversations. I'm your host Syed, and in this episode we'll explore how businesses can digitize their processes with the right tools. Soumya, who handles customer experience and operations at ITK Solution, a Zoho partner organization, she shares how Zoho Creator fits seamlessly from small boutiques to educational institutions to large manufacturing units. Join us see how Zoho Creator is making waves across different industries. Hello Soumya, welcome to Creator Conversations.
Hi Syed, good evening.
It's a pleasure to have you after a very long time. So it's been a very long catch to have you here at our podcast. So before we talk about Zoho Creator, can you quickly introduce yourself? What do you do, and what is ITK all about?
Yeah, sure. And ITK is a technology company that where we've got development, training, and technical support. Now, currently we are Zoho centric. Like we provide solutions based on Zoho products, and we work with Zoho ecosystem only. And ITK is currently concentrating more on providing innovation in solution for all the businesses. And currently we've been developing a lot of implementation processes with the low-code platform on Zoho Creator, and we deploy those projects, which gives them a kind of automation dream come true, in fact. So this is all about ITK, and currently we are a 19-member team, and this is a nutshell of ITK all about it. And we also have a training division, and it has a story like first our association with Zoho started with training. In fact, we've been providing Zoho Creator certification based on training division, and then slowly moved into development as well, and providing a kind of products and everything. And we are now, what is my role in ITK is I head the project and training division. I would be a customer facing person who would probably evaluate the requirement and work with the team very closely, and then coordinate with the client as well, and provide finally the product output. This is my role, in fact. And in terms of our team is concerned, we have got 11-member technical team, and the rest of the teams are non-technical and supportive team. So this is all about us, Syed.
Awesome. You mentioned about Zoho, like how did you start up with Zoho, right? There are different vendors out there in the market. Yeah. Why Zoho? And what fascinated you to go with Zoho?
See, way back in 2016, that is when our association with Zoho has begun, in fact. When we came into, though it is pronounced as Zoho, that we were being introduced as small office and home office. So ideally, there were a lot of big enterprise market players, but there is a big vacuum in the small and medium scale areas, like where we need to tap it. So that is when we thought, okay, fine, like we should explore this product, and it is very easy accessible. And by then it was been in a boom to get into the Indian market as well. So we in fact had a desire to probably have a hands-on in this particular product to see what we can do. First, we get to know that we can use this low-code platform and develop products in a matter of time. So we came in. Then suddenly, since we are coming from an education background, a training background, so we thought, why can't we provide certification and training and develop a skill pool who can get introduced to this low-code platform as well. So that is how we chose Zoho, in fact. and Zoho as well chose us. Yeah.
Nice to hear about that. Why Creator in specific? You started with Creator initially when you came across Zoho, right? Why Creator in specific, and what was the thing about Creator that made you like ITK focus on and keep going? Like starting with the training program, then you went on implementing solution for different clients around the world. How did that journey? How was that journey, and how has it been so far till date?
In terms of Zoho is concerned, Zoho has got a lot of suite of products, in fact.
Yeah.
But all these were plug and play or very limited customization and everything. Like you cannot build anything on your own. So we were thinking like, a kind of an innovative product if we need to figure out. So our creator was paving us the platform for that. So when we are able to do it, like, we can also create a supply pool using that particular platform. That is the reason why we chose on the development front also, I can create a customized product, because today what happens, tailor-made products have certain functionalities on its own, and you will have to mend your ways according to the product which is already pre-built. But whereas in Creator it is not the case, that the customized product can be created based on the requirement of the client. That was a very reason that we chose we should get into Creator, and we should definitely bring out some innovative products which is useful to the market, and the business scalability should be there using that particular product and everything. That is a very reason where we have been associated with Zoho Creator in the first thing. Then we actually moved our ways, and we are also now doing products with other domain as well. But then Zoho Creator is our flagship product. So very same reason we thought like we should definitely create a skill pool also using the same creator, because that is where the need of the hour was there. In fact, when we came into a thing, we never had people who were knowing creator. So when we launched our creator division, development division, we were looking in for people, and educating them was a kind of a problem statement. We saw an opportunity over there, and we immediately wanted to do a kind of a launch this training and certification. And Zoho did really help us, support us, and encouraged us, and provide all support in such way that like where we can make this go into the industry, and where we have been associated with 80 and odd institution, and where we were able to do this created training.
Which was your first like solution you implemented on Creator?
Interestingly, we have done our first implementation to one of our boutique.
Oh.
Okay, very, I would say for that particular boutique, like their problem statement was, they weren't able to maintain the customer base. And each time a customer comes in, like, the time that is spent on giving a measurement or altering or all these things are just for the momentary stuff, like where we need to, every time like we had to do the same thing. So the client of ours came with a kind of a problem statement. How do I automate this? He didn't have any idea that how to do that. We've had for us also it was a kind of an excitement, at the same time like we need to give a right solution to him. So we have in fact come out with a kind of a solution, like where now today if you would see that he has got about 12 plus outlets across the city, and wherein when he began he was hardly having 1 or 2 outlets. So definitely it would be until today that he is using, and he comes and approaches us for kind of an enhancements as well. Here and there's a few modifications and additional requirements and all that. So that was our very first implementation. And then if you see, like we've built in a lot of applications and we've moved on, but that's a very close to heart. That was our first hands-on experience, which were giving us a lot of excitement. Even to that segment, Creator can be used.
Awesome.
Imagine. So people would normally ask for a very big enterprises and businesses who would want to automate their business. Would you believe it, a boutique, a shop where a customized dresses are being created, there was the first journey, our first journey of implementation had begun.
Thank you. Like that's a insightful use case which you presented about how Creator is fitting in such a small business also. We have heard like you have a education ERP as a flagship product, yes, right? So I want to get more deeper into it. Like, how did you guys come up to that, like building an ERP on Zoho Creator? And how has it been? Like, was it very easy to build a complex ERP like which automates into it and like process inside a educational institution? Was it like very tough to build it, or like how did that journey been for you folks? And how has that education ERP been doing?
Sure, Syed. Our product name is called ASMA. So ASMA is basically a academic ERP management, and this application. Why do we want to build this particular application? Very thought which came into our founder is, since we are coming from an education and training industry, our founder has about 3 decades of experience in this education and training industry. So we thought we should give it back to the same vertical with a tailor-made product. That was the very reason where we thought we should bring a product which gives a solution for all processes of academic industry. So how did we do? You ask a question, was it very easy? See, the implementation part was much easier, but building a right processes, right? Like we had to spend a lot of time in researching, because each institution has got its own processes and functionalities and implementation processes. But whereas what happened in the sense, each vertical, especially when you take our Indian education system into consideration, we've got engineering, we've got arts and science, we've got commerce college, we've got a lot of institutions out there. Apart from college, we have schools and we have polytechnics. We've got diversified institutions who offer different programs. So what happened, we had to do a research. When I'm trying to give a product, it should be used by every institution possible. It shouldn't be defined only for a particular institution. So what we did is we have done a lot of research. Another process is, what would be the dependency level? Each time when they have to set up this particular ERP, that should they have to depend on a person who created this ERP? Can they not do it on their own? So keeping all these things in mind, that like we've spent about 7 months in doing a research on this particular platform, in this industry, and then how am I going to fit into this particular platform? So Zoho Creator is a low-code platform. It was quite easy for us to accommodate all these things into a processes until it came into a kind of an integration in a complex part of it. So when the complexity came into picture in terms of, I would probably give you a gist of what is ASMA all about. ASMA helps every institution starting from admission till the student is passed out. It helps the admission process, administration process, academic process, and also the examination, library, transportation and placement. And finally, when the student is passing out. Who are the stakeholders who are a part of this ASMA, if you ask, like, management people, academicians, that is teaching staffs, non-teaching staff. I would probably explain you how they are using as well. Then students and parents and controller of examination department, and then finally you would see like alumni. So these are the stakeholders who will be able to benefit out of this particular application. Then what do they do? That is another next question. Where am I going to use this? What are the use cases of these stakeholders, if you would see? In terms of admission, everything is organized in a streamlined way. So what happens, like, when an application is floated, that is recorded, how many admissions have been finalized for which department, the allotment, everything can be handled through this particular application. Then next, when it comes to an administration, an institution is set up on an academic year, like every academic year is set up on a year-on-year basis. So they will have to set up like what are the subjects that are offered for which year, and which subject can be handled by what professors or teachers, and which all students have to be defined in a particular sections. All these things have to be taken care by an administrator. So what happens, these things can be dynamically handled. They don't need to depend on a technical person to define all these things. These are already preset. They can simply do a kind of an alignment. They can just assign to each other, and they can set it according to the institution's policies and procedures. So that is the administrators can do it. And apart from that, they can set a timetable. Timetable can be dynamically set because we collect all the information that is required for them to dynamically set the timetable upfront in the setting up process itself. So that is also at the hands of a user. So mostly complicated areas, the timetable based on the resources, based on the offerings, they need to match up with each other, and in this limited time durations are allotted for resources and all these things. So this is a complicated area that is also handled over there, which can be handled by a user himself. He need not depend on a technical person like us. And next is the teachers. When it comes to a teacher, that the person can mark their own attendance. Like, what is the profile of a teacher? Teacher does deliveries, and teacher does manage the process of a student, like that is their academic and non-academic developments, whatever of the student, and then they take care of the evaluations, class tests and external evaluations and everything. So now what happens, this particular process, the portal accessibility of a teacher helps to mark the self-attendance and the student attendance, and they can mark what is completed on that particular. If you go to school, they have something called notes of lessons. They'll have to mark like what deliveries do they do. And it happens even in the colleges as well. They need to record like what is the delivery that they have done for the sessions and all that. So each person, through their portal access only, they can complete all these things at one touch, one click they can do it. And then they can create an assignments and float it to all the student at one button click. And they can also get to see their timetable. They can see the performance of the students. That is, though examination is a separate department, whatever they are evaluating and exporting in that particular process, they'll be able to see the performance of the subjects what they are handling. So that it gives them an opportunity to either improvise or probably stabilize on their subjects. It gives a lot of opportunity instead of spending a lot of time in doing all these things manually.
Yeah.
So this is teacher's role all about. When you come to student, that's where the exciting part comes into picture. Each and every time, we're all scattered, especially when it comes to a college, right? Like, depending on each other. If school is a different atmosphere altogether, but whereas as a college, like, different subjects are being handled, different electives are being taken by a student. So what happens, that student at one place, that he'll be able to cover up all his needs. He'll be able to see what is taught today, but whatever is being uploaded as a notes or a reference material by his teacher, he'll be able to access through his dashboard, and he'll be able to see what is his attendance. He need not wait for any a monthly information or a message or whatever it is. The moment he logs in, he'll be able to see what is his attendance all about, and he'll be able to see his timetable on his academic timetable and examination timetable, and he'll be able to see any notification that are being displayed by the management or any particular department, or any events are organized. It is being displayed as an event calendar to them, and all these things are at one click. And we also provide them a communication forum. That is, if a student had to connect with a particular teacher, then without disturbing any other procedure, that is possible. When it comes to teacher, one more thing like I wanted to say is that like their leave management. They are provided what is their eligibility, what is pending, everything they are able to see in their dashboard, so that they can plan their leaves also accordingly. So all these things are basic, the heart of their functionality, day-to-day aspects. Apart from that, all these support systems such as libraries and transportations, placements, all these things are also part of ASMA. And apart from that, there is something called canteen, which is a very important aspect in the colleges, in fact. So we also have a canteen management, like where all procurement for the canteen and the sales of that particular day, everything is just being monitored using, handled using canteen management as well. And excitingly, we are bringing out a new version of ASMA in the month of October, with enhanced features and enhanced functionality, with lot more integrations, with a lot of exciting user friendliness and UX, that is user experiences. We're going to launch ASMA 3.0. So this is my experience about ASMA. It's a very close to heart product for us. In fact, we have spent about 1.5 years in building this particular product, 7 months for research, and rest of the time duration we've spent on implementation, testing, and then it has been released to the market. This is all about ASMA.
This clearly reminds me of one of the movie scenes where Dhanush usually describes like how he usually goes to tuition, then does his engineering, all these things, and he finishes off like that particular dialogue, which is like very famous for how he catches the breath and speaks out the entire life story in a gist, right? This clearly says like how in depth you folks have gone inside that education ERP, covered so many aspects, covered so many users, and you've helped digitize each and every single thing inside the ERP. It is so vast, and thank you so much for sharing that, Soumya.
Yes, small piece of information I would want to value add here is, we also kept a kind of, open space for the customers also. Though it is a product, it's a pre-built product, we also give the leverage for the user, because we really do not know sometimes that the processes may vary somewhere in some module, that their use case might be different than what we would have thought about it. So we used to give them space, like any module can be customized, or they can implement a new module altogether, or they can probably not use one of the module what is built, and they can just rebuild something according to their own interest. So one such interesting case is Shiv Nadar University. Currently, Shiv Nadar University, Chennai, that recently launched like 3 years back, like they've come into Tamil Nadu, right? So they are very much using this ASMA application. In their this thing, if you see that the examination department, okay, theirs is a university, they had a different credit system and a grading system on examination. So we have to not use our examination module, and rather build a new module for their examination and give it to them, set it up in a matter of 20 days time, and hand it over to them. So that is also one interesting stuff, is that it's not that you will have to completely adhere to what has already been built. If there are some few scalable options that you require, yes, we are open for it. So that's the nutshell of ASMA all about.
Awesome. So this entire end-to-end ERP solution, ASMA 3.0, which is going to come up very soon, it's totally customizable however the education fits in. It really took me back to my school days, how you were explaining the diary thing, like the notes teachers use and the students are, have to make a note of it, all these things. Thank you so much for sharing that in-depth story. How is this, like you mentioned about the customer also, right? Did they share any valuable, like how using ASMA they've benefited, like how much?
We are awaiting a kind of a schedule to meet them in person, because Shiv Nadar University is a bigger institution. So we are in fact looking forward for an opportunity to meet them in person and to get their experience using this ASMA. And we also have another institution called South Indian Bible Society, based of Coimbatore. They are also the users of ASMA. Like they have students, all these theology students were there, and starting from admission till their completion and been passed out of the institution, that has also been used. So we are awaiting, as excited as you, that we are also waiting for Shiv Nadar University's probably feedback. And though they have shared like they are using it and it's very useful and all that, to get the length and breadth of this particular education ERP, we are also awaiting an opportunity to get to know about it in detail.
Awesome. So you've implemented for education, you started with a boutique use case, then you've gone to implementing such a vast ERP solution. Have you explored different industries out there, or have you limited just your expertise to education?
No, we have been doing diversified vertical. These are our flagship products, like where we have put our energy and soul, and we have invented this. So that is why it is special to us. But otherwise, if you would see, we've got diversified. We've done implementation for manufacturing industries. We've done implementation for retail sectors, and we've done implementation for vocational schools, and we've done implementation for executive coaching firms. So our expertise doesn't limit only with these two industries. In fact, if you would see, namely, like recently one of our client has given a kind of a case study to Zoho themselves, called OA Happy, who is an online gifting organization. So their story is very interesting because though their processes are very simplified, their expectation on UX and UI were completely different because they were using a legacy system and their employees were completely being used to that legacy system. They can't educate something to a new process or new functionality or whatever it is. So they wanted to replicate that with the better enhancement and with better feasibility. And you would not believe that that was a kind of a very hard part for us to bring it out. But whether you believe it or not, this is the second year they've completed their Rakhi festival successfully, and they have given their feedback, and they shared their experience using this Zoho Creator to our Zoho team as well, like how scalable it is, and their business has scaled well. They were able to, their problem statements were when they were doing it manually, there was a disconnect between the orders receiving and orders being delivered, and to monitor these two things, like they had a huge gap in between, so that they may have to be answerable to the customers. So a lot of problem statements were fulfilled using this particular creator. Today at one click, like they know what is happening. And especially in this application, why am I talking about this is, this has 6 different integration. It has integration with Shopify, because Shopify is used as a front end for the application to receive the orders. Then it reaches Zoho Creator, and it also coordinates with WooCommerce to receive data. And from WooCommerce, it reaches, Zoho Creator entire process has been completed. Then it is connected with delivery, and we have SMS integration that is happening. We have ShipRocket integration that's happening. It handshakes with Zoho Inventory as well. From Inventory, it goes back to Shopify about the current quantity of stock looks to be. So it's like a cycle. It doesn't work only as a kind of a Zoho Creator product. It's a comprehensive product. So that is the scalability of Zoho Creator. It accommodates a lot of complexity and in a very easy way. And whereas because of that, now today the customer is just benefited to a very larger extent. So
right.
Till today, they are in fact looking out for what other enhancement can I do, which will probably benefit me much more. So they're also looking in for expanding their operations to international as well, and they wanted to build another module and fit into this particular application. So online gifting companies coming into a retail sector. We've also done a couple of our customers, if you would ask, like Dormakaba, which is a digital door lock and digital door manufacturers. So they are using for managing their distributors management, like they are using application which is built out of Zoho Creator. This is supposed to be the 5th year they are using their application, and that was the first to start with, but they have expanded their operations to warranty management and handling their other enterprise product management and all these things. They are using Zoho Creator as a solution to manage their entire operations. And we have very exciting clients, if you would see, like I've got one such case is that yarn trading management. You would see the yarns are procured from the wholesale distributors, and it's processed and it's been converted as a cloth, and it has been fabric, and it has been just been sold in the market. So for this was a very good learning for us to understand that industry much better. So in fact, if you would see, like, a solution was that very delicate. So each product has got a different byproducts. For me to provide a final finished good, like it's got a lot of byproducts in fact. So one product output, I need to do a planning well. So that is where bills of material comes into picture. So we take the requirement, we plan the bills of material, we plan our material procurement, and after the procurement is done, how it is being allotted for production, and after the production is done, how it is being sold. So starting from planning till the delivery happens, everything was being managed using this. In this, especially the material requirement part was a kind of a very delicate part. It has a lot of measurements, in fact, it has in centimeters, it has in inches, feet, a lot of stuffs in fact. And the quality comes into single, double, a lot of stuffs. So it has given us an exposure that as if we are very close to that industry also. So such is an experience, and lot more to say. Like we've done implementation for a manufacturer and exporter of jute bags and purses, who's based out of West Bengal and who does it for all US and UK and Canada, that like he does export his jute products and all. For them also the similar thing, like managing their bills of materials. But one small exciting stuff is that they do their bills of material according to the customer requirement rather than a common bills of material. So such complicated areas were very exciting for us to deliver very exciting products. And another thing, if you would see, like recently we've done it for one of the dance academy called Swingers. Like it's a dance school. So dance school is completely different from a regular institution. It has batches, it has periodical seasonal trainings and all that. So we've done deployment on that. And then an interesting thing recently what we have done is to one of the NGO school who is based out of Karnataka that we've done. It was completely different than ASMA. I cannot fit ASMA into them because theirs is basically running out of a lot of funds from external units. So they need to plan, and their process is completely different than what is the regular process. So we built an application, we've replaced their legacy system and we've just exactly replicated with much enhancement, and they are quite happy. They've gone live last week. So our expertise is not limited only to a particular industry. We've done a lot of implementation, assessment, especially this executive coaching firm, if you would see, that starting from planning their engagement till the completion and the commercials, handling the transactions, everything was being handled using our system. Now today, without that, they can't run their operations. So such is a dependency that is created with the product what we have built. So name any industry, we are there.
Awesome. I mean, now I get it why one of my colleagues who was speaking to you earlier was appreciating, like, she's got like insightful use cases in every industry to go into how creators fitting into all of this. One interesting question this popped when you spoke about scalability, right? Now ASMA also was in the first version. Now it has grown to 3.0. How do you think like creators, like different business processes evolve over the time, especially how processes were carried out before COVID was different. Like after COVID, it's totally giving a new picture. Though some of the processes do continue with the same manner, but again, there are few enhancements which can be done better. So all these things, especially the hybrid culture, working from home, working from office. So how do you think creator is adaptable to the coming future? Like they would be trends in the future. Do you think creator would still be relevant, and how can creator be enhanced? Like how can creator be fit into that nature? How do you feel about that?
See, Creator being a cloud product, the platform, the products what we are building using the cloud platform, this is exactly is going to fit into that particular segment. If you see enhancement, when I talk about scalability, so initially, let's get into the mindset of the client. In fact, when I'm trying to automate my processes, so he would probably concentrate only on the problem statements. Yeah. So once his desire is achieved, his goal is achieved, that he would look for something what I can have. Must-haves have already been addressed. So what I can now think about can-haves or desire to have and wish to have. All these things he will just explore. And then he will also look into the complex area. Earlier he doesn't want to burn his finger, so he wants an immediate solution and a comfortable solution. That would be the first initial approach. When I talk about a scalability, even now what we are likely to do with ASMA, earlier whatever features we were not able to give it in the previous version, now is that the version is increased and accommodativeness of creator has just gone still more deeper, that we wanted to bring in a lot of additional features which helps a user to benefit to a very larger extent. Same way, even a customer is also looking in for such kind of a scalability. In fact, when I talk about OA Happy, whom I've shared, they have gone in for 4 or 5 enhancement in the additional usage of this particular application comparatively to the one what we delivered during their launch of this product. They explored, they made use of this, and understanding the capability of the product, they are also bringing out some kind of business opportunity to scale this with. This not only increases the usage of that particular application, this also brings in an avenue how I can probably increase my business opportunities. So such is the capability of this particular product. So when you talk about exactly that the complexity which Zoho Creator can accommodate is increasing day by day.
Very true.
Right. Earlier, like it was having its own, capabilities. Now you're also doing R&D. You're also bringing in a lot of. You wanted to fit the product into the market. So when you are increasing a lot of capabilities to the product, that gives additional benefit to the users as well. And using that benefit, clients are also looking in for all these kind of enhancement, and such as the scalability.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that answer, Soumya. So you shared your expertise in different industries now, but I'm still stuck up on the education a bit. This is a question maybe out of a box a bit. Where our education today, like how you mentioned, our education system varies a lot, different processes, every single thing. But our education also lacks a particular thing, that is the skill fitting thing. Like today, an individual, he finishes the school, gets a degree, moves to a corporate job. But there is still a gap of like how they can, have a relevant skill which is pertaining to that particular job. When he comes there, he's not aware about what to do over there, right? That is when maybe certain companies, or like let's say even Zoho Creator is doing this Young Creators program, a workshop where we go to colleges, institutions, try to like educate the audience of like the students about what is a low-code platform, and give them a hands-on training. Like this is how creators get them through every feature, every single thing. And initially, when we had a conversation, 2016 to 19, even you were doing a similar workshop where it was you were giving more hands-on capabilities, trying different like how students are trying to adapt to the platform, how are they doing it in a competition using the appathon, everything. How do you think these workshops are fitting into that gap? Like, do you think these workshops are really helping students in equipping to a skill set? And what more can be done in educational institutions these days?
Yeah, that's a very interesting stuff. Like, interestingly, as you said, our journey began with Zoho, not only with development, like we parallelly took over this training. When I talk about training and certification, we took this Zoho Creator program, and we have trained close to about between 6 to 8,000 students into the domain of Zoho Creator. So when we did this, we learned how useful it is. Like basically what happens in colleges, like we learn, we try to do some projects using that in our own comfort zone, and we try to submit it, and that is how the knowledge is just probably being handled. And based on individual's expertise, how do I sell my candidature to an employment varies. But when you come into the employment, that is when your reality comes into picture.
Yes.
So to break this only, we thought of doing this program in a completely different way. So when we offered this particular program, we made sure that the skill, the very word called skill, is developed over there, because every product is taught in a theory, and practically if you really have that capability, that you will build your practical knowledge. Otherwise, it's a kind of a theoretical knowledge, your book knowledge that you gain. So definitely these kind of skill training would improvise the student. They may be a creator user at a later stage, they may not use it, but the knowledge what they have acquired, the skill that what they have acquired will definitely help them in one way or the other, that this is how a skill can be acquired. That is an experience. So today, for all you know, when we have done these training, like how we have made use of this particular skills in the sense, in 2016 and 17, when we have done this particular training, we have engaged the students in such a way that we have spoken to some of the institution. We requested them to accommodate this as a kind of a credit program. Whereas using this particular tool, they can create mini projects. So what will happen when I'm trying to, I provide a platform, with the help of Zoho, that we have provided the platform for them for one long year, and they can make use of the whatever learning that they have done, they can make use of that using that platform and create a product. What we still recommended the institution is, you bring out your own use cases for your own departments or for your own institution, that wherever you feel it is unaddressed, please talk to your students, make it as a kind of a use case, but ask them to bring a solution. That's your product. You have a platform, you have a product. So that's how skill is enhanced, in fact. Maybe whether it will be used for an employment, that completely depends on whether he is going to choose that particular vertical or not. But the skill what he has acquired is acquired. That will help him in one way or the other. Maybe the language what he has learnt might be different, but this is how a product can be built, this is how a coding can be done, this is how a syntax works, this is how a product output can be brought in. The life cycle of a creating of an application, that is a skill that he has acquired. Maybe the product might be different. Today he does with Creator, tomorrow he does with different this thing. But still, Creator is completely something different which is not offered anywhere outside. We are going to their doorsteps and giving an opportunity for them to get exposed to this particular product and the platform, and hands-on experience we are providing. We are also giving them the platform to make use of that and nurture them on the same product, and probably try to identify certain talent pools as well. That is how we conducted in 2017. We've done a program called Appathon in Zoho, where all the certified people were a part of contest in 3 different levels. Like, we filtered all the participants and we figured out a best solution product which is brought out of Zoho Creator, and Zoho did encourage all the students, those who were winners, with some cash awards and internship opportunities and all that. Naturally, that's the biggest opening for all those students who were a part of that particular crowd. And followed by the next year we did it in a little slightly a different way. We paved opportunity for the Zoho partners also to identify the right talent pool, because Creator was a completely new different product. Likewise, opportunities are definitely going to be tremendous if we keep developing the skills. So this is a must-have product. And more interestingly, we, as you said, 2016 to 2019 we were doing it. During COVID, we were doing only online training. So online, that is when like people were introduced to online mode of education as well. So we did do a lot of certifications using online training. But now we are again going back, that we are resuming back our regular training into the colleges and other sectors as well, in developing a lot of, in creating a lot of creator certified professionals as well.
All the very best for such projects in the coming future. Soumya.
Thank you very much.
It's been a beautiful conversation so far. To end this beautiful conversation, like, can you share us your valuable learnings? You've been in the professional life for a quite long time, and you have come across different challenges in your life in terms of professional, personal. Any takeaway, any personal thing you want to share it to our viewers before we end this podcast?
Of course, yes, we may fly high, that we have to be always carry a virtue of humility, because that is the very reason Zoho has grown up to a very larger extent. This is a learning from Zoho as well, because how much of our big products and big numbers that you are doing, you still are the same. And it has been since 9 years of journey that I've been having with Zoho. The very first day, what is the comfort zone we have had with Zoho, same thing even now also. So this is a very big virtue. Virtue is something like which has to be carried out forever. So I would probably say, maybe in personal life or professional life, just carry the humility wherever you go, and you will definitely touch greater heights. And in learning, in terms of, do not stop anywhere that I've learned anything. Endless opportunities are there for you to increase your knowledge. So definitely keep looking for things to learn, and keep always yourself educated, so that that is how you can survive in this current industry. Because today, if you would be stagnant anywhere, you're lost. So you'll have to keep going with the wave, and definitely everybody would touch greater heights.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Soumya, for your valuable inputs. It was such an interesting conversation for people to see like how creators fitting into education ERP. Like, you went into detailed things, like detailed process, in-depth process on how it would enhance this product is useful for even like students or the support staff who is present over there. And then you spoke about a boutique use case. You mentioned about like manufacturing solution, then retail solution. It is so vast to see how creators is being is growing day by day for different users around there. We are looking forward to see how ITK would definitely in coming future expand their operations to more and more industries. And we wish you all the very best and looking forward to such more collaborations and conversations.
Thank you very much, Syed. It means a lot. And this success has come along with a lot of people's support and everything. Like, our team, and moreover, Zoho is a kind of an extended family for us. In fact, we always may name any issues or any support that, they're always there to back us up. So maybe if we have grown to this extent, Zoho has been a very big part of it, and would like to have the same kind of journey in the coming years also. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Soumya. It was a pleasure.